For today, in the name of freedom, we take the battle to them.
Ladies and gentlemen, Transformers 1 has finally released in, more parts of the world. And man, this movie was so good. If you haven't checked out my review for it, go and just watch at least the first 5.5 minutes, because that's where I don't go into any spoilers. It's completely spoiler free. And then afterwards, we get into all the juicy details. But there is one scene that I really want to analyze from this movie. And of course, this goes without saying, spoilers, but it is the scene in the final act where Sentinel Prime gets his demise. But really, that is one of the many things that happens in the scene. So, the lead up to the scene is Soundwave, Shockwave, Elita 1, all of them come and rescue the High Guard from Sentinel Prime. And Sentinel basically just completely armors up. Like, he gets missiles on the side of his legs. He gets the battle mask. And while Orion and the other, soon-to-be Autobots are rescuing everyone, Megatron D16 is focused on Sentinel Prime. And he goes for it. He even grounds him. He, removes his wings and stuff. He can't fly. And then, as he's about to kill him, Orion Pax, ends up sacrificing himself, basically. And that is just the beginning of the scene, is Megatron killing Optimus Prime. Something that I never thought I would ever see again. Because after the 86 movie, of course, Megatron killing Optimus, we were like, we'd never see that again. Then Revenge of the Fallen came and we were like, holy shit. What? He killed him? And especially because, much like the 86 movie, it was very early in the movie. But here, this was insane. And this is where everything starts. This is where D16's eyes, completely change. Because throughout the movie, it does happen. And I mentioned this in the review. They did the same thing with Sentinel Prime, where his eyes in Dark of the Moon slowly became more purple. In this movie, in the beginning of the film, Megatron's eyes are kind of yellow, then they slowly change throughout the movie, become more and more orange, and then this moment is where they become red, and he just lets Optimus fall. And this scene, I think, is just even better for those who love the song If I Fall, because of course that song was made for the movie. And when you listen to the song, you're like, okay, obviously this is meant to, kind of be the relationship between D16 and Orion Pax, hope you'll be there to catch me if I fall. But then you watch the actual movie and you see that Megatron did not save Optimus when he was about to fall. He made him fall. And I think that just makes it so much better, because that song, Transformers hasn't really had some great songs in recent times. The Bayverse movies, of course, the original trilogy used the Linkin Park songs. Age of Extinction, we got My Boys, we got Imagine Dragons. Then the fifth movie was Torches, I believe. I can't remember Bumblebee. But then when Rise of the Beast came out, we got rap. And there weren't a lot of fans of this. I've kind of gotten used to it because of the style of the movie and the time it was set in. But this movie, I was like, another rap song, really? But then I listened to it and I was like, oh my god, they actually are putting lyrics from Transformers, and it's genius. But I am getting off track. But basically, this is the scene where Megatron and Optimus Prime are simultaneously created, because so much happens in the scene. We get the death of Sentinel Prime, the death of Orion Pax, the metaphorical death of D16, the birth of Optimus Prime, the birth of Megatron. It's insane, and a great part of the scene, and in my opinion, the best part, is that there is no dialogue. There were so many scenes in this movie where you could just see that the people behind the music really, really cared, because in the important scenes, there was no dialogue. And, even sometimes it was just silence. Like early in the movie, when they're talking to Alpha Trion, and Megatron says, "No, I want to kill him." There's no sound, nothing. It is silent. And here, there's no dialogue. It's just this music. It's kind of like a somber violin as Megatron grabs Sentinel, rips him in half, and you just see this shocked, horrified expression on Alita's face, Bumblebee's face, and even this kind of scared look on some of the background characters' faces, because obviously they all hate Sentinel now, but even still, seeing him get ripped in half it's horrifying because of, and even the way that it's shot, for the audience, we just see Megs lift Sentinel up, and then the next time we see it is a close-up of Sentinel's stomach area, and then you just see it get ripped apart, and Megatron's roaring, furious face. It's a horrifying scene, but of course that is intercut with Orion Pax falling into the core of Cybertron. And this scene is just absolute genius because Brian Tyler, man, like really, what more can we do to praise this man? TFP, we were like, oh, this is his best work. This is like on par with it, if not better. Like, this was phenomenal because in this scene, you of course have two very different things going on. You have Orion Pax being changed into Optimus Prime, which is of course such a hopeful, happy moment. And then you have D16 becoming Megatron, which is just such a dreadful, horrible moment and it's mainly the way that it happens, because Orion Pax is given the matrix of leadership. He's given the status of a prime. He is made into a prime. Whereas Megatron takes the TCOG of Megatronus, he takes it from Sentinel Prime's body and then puts it into himself and gives himself the name Megatron. And I cannot tell you how amazing it was hearing him say, "I am Megatron!" And that echo was phenomenal. Brian Tyree Henry, that was probably the best line delivery of the movie.
I am Megatron!
The only thing that comes close to it is the line that comes after that, when Primus says, "Arise!" And then the music cuts, and he says, "Optimus Prime," and then Optimus's eyes open.
Arise! Optimus Prime.
This scene was absolute perfection. Everything that was kind of set up throughout the movie, even when Alita was talking to Orion after Sentinel soldiers, kidnapped them from the High Guard, Alita is telling Optimus, it's your optimism. And of course, oh man, the choice of words is genius. I really feel like this is one of the best scenes in Transformers history, because seeing the birth of Optimus Prime, seeing the birth of Megatron is just absolutely insane. And, of course, there are people who recorded the scene in the cinema and posted it on YouTube. And really, I can't crap on them because I've done the same thing in the past. But I cannot tell you how many times I've rewatched the scene, because obviously I screen recorded the video. But man, hearing Brian Tyree Henry say, "I am Megatron," is insane. And I think that the writers for this movie did a fantastic job in terms of the contrast between Orion Pax and D16. Because as I said, Orion never asked to be a prime. He never wanted to be one. And that's how the Matrix was earned. Because even earlier in the movie, Sentinel Prime went to take the Matrix from, I believe it's Zeta Prime, and the Matrix just vanished. How it did in Revenge of the Fallen. The scene is amazing on a literal level, on a metaphorical level, in terms of the music, the writing, the animation, what's actually happening in the scene, it is truly just flawless. And I cannot tell you how happy I am that I finally got to watch this movie and that I can discuss it with people. And now I understand why Alfonso went and saw it like 6 times as of right now. Because the movie is just that good. And honestly, I would 100% go watch this movie 6 times just so that I can watch this scene. Because my God, seeing Megatron and Optimus Prime being simultaneously created is one of the most phenomenally crafted scenes I've ever seen in a TF movie. So yeah, even though there are some amazing scenes in Transformers 1, this one I think is just unbeatable. I really don't think you can get better than this, because even the fight between Optimus and Megatron, I think is probably like a top 4, top 3. But this is the untouchable number 1. So yeah, let me know if you do agree with me that this is the best scene in the movie. And yeah, please just let me know your thoughts on the scene, and if you want to, the movie. Don't forget to check out my review for Transformers 1. And yeah, if you did enjoy this video, then please leave a like, subscribe, and goodbye.